James Ferguson, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. Does this sound to you like the work of Al-Shabaab?
Well, they haven't claimed responsibility for that attack yet, I believe, but it does have all of those hallmarks, yes. And if it isn't Al-Shabaab, it's some organisation very closely allied to them in terms of ideology. There are stories coming out of the Westgate of survivors who managed to talk their way out of the place because they gave a Muslim name, someone called Hakim, was the story I heard. The guy next to him was shot dead when he couldn't name the Prophet's mother, so I think it's pretty clear what is going on there.
And James, I should just say that we're just getting a series of developments via the Reuters news agency. They're saying that Al-Shabaab on Twitter is saying now that it warned Kenya to pull troops out of Somalia, but no claim of responsibility at the moment. Somalia's Al-Shabaab, another one just coming in now, says Kenya turned a deaf ear to its repeated warnings. So no claim of responsibility, but still clear that they're angry about Kenya's involvement in Somalia.
Yeah, well, Kenya military moved into Somalia and drove Shabab out of their last stronghold, Kismayo, the southern port of Kismayo, in early 2012. Where have those Al-Shabaab gone? And this was always the fear, was that they might go south towards the Swahili coast, the Muslim Swahili coast, and to Kenya. Kenya hadn't got involved in the Somali quagmire, and perhaps this is the tragic but inevitable result of that. It's something that Raila Odinga, the Prime Minister, has been warning about for a long time, that Al-Shabaab might try something like this. There have been numerous attacks, small attacks, attacks on bus stops, on churches, tourist sites, that kind of thing, but nothing as spectacular as this. This has been a long time coming. And I have to say the Westgate Shopping Centre is a place that I know very well. I used to go there a lot in 2011 when I was there, and 12 as well. And it always felt like, this is maybe rather a good target for terrorists, and now I'm afraid that the worst has happened.
Why do you say that it would be an appropriate target for terrorists?
Because it's such a conspicuous Western kind of place. When you go there, it doesn't look like the rest of Nairobi at all. It's quite separate to the ordinary atmosphere in the rest of Nairobi. You get checked when you go in there by guards, but not particularly well, I have to say. But once you step inside, you could almost be in Knightsbridge. It feels like a very sort of westernized kind of place, much used by Western expats and by the Kenyan middle classes for business meetings, meeting for coffee, and so on and so on. It's a very westernized, air-conditioned, lots of modern banks, shops, and so on and so on. So it always sort of stood out like a sore thumb as a possible target to me. So in some ways, I'm afraid I'm not that surprised that this has happened. It's a very obvious target.
Well, yes, and still, as we say, not 100% clear who's behind this, but what is clear is that it would have been an absolutely terrifying experience for anyone in there. The latest report suggests that 30 people have died and 60 people have been wounded. I mean, this is a terrible shock for the country of Kenya. What do you think the lasting effects could be of an attack like this?
I think quite significant. Until now, it's been a bit of a phony war. People have been worrying about what the enormous Somali population might do in Kenya. So far, the reaction, the response to Kenya's incursion into Somalia has been rather limited. But here we go. This is the big thing that people have been frightened about, and it's now happened. So I think it will certainly shake very deeply a certain kind of class in Nairobi, the middle class, influential, rich classes are going to feel this very deeply. It does have shades of the Mumbai hotel attack and other sort of spectacular attacks like it. So this is a bad day for Nairobi for sure, and for Kenya in general.
Indeed. James Ferguson, we appreciate your time. Thank you for shedding a little bit of light on the situation there in Kenya. We appreciate it.